Each and every Monday is $9 Monday at both WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, when all daily picks packages are priced at only $9, including 5% best bets, normally priced at $35. As an added bonus, any picks packages loaded early for Overnight Tuesday or action during the week will also be priced at $9 until midnight on Monday. So make sure to take advantage of getting these $25 and $35 picks for only $9 before the clock strikes 12 and they return to regular price.
Welcome in and a very, a happy Monday to you now as we welcome in April the 4th. And this will be the last college basketball tip-off show for the year. Why? Because we are crowning a national champion tonight from 64 all the way down to 2. Who will it be? Well, we're going to break the game down for you. We're going to do it with 3 of the best from all season long as we welcome in Tony Finn up at the top, Adam Trigger right in the middle, and, of course, Tony Mahia hitting the number 3 hole tonight, guys, as what a weekend it was. If we've got Kansas and we've got North Carolina left standing here. It should be a great matchup. And, Tony Finn, I know you're ready to go. No NBA tonight, but I know there's a lot of different ways to approach this game. What do you got up and ready to go here at WagerTalk.com for us there, Tony?
I took a position on the game tonight on the side, on the spread. I'll talk to the total to some degree here and go over some of the information I don't have, et cetera, but only at Wager Talk when you get my side for tonight's championship game at Caesars Superdome.
Love it. Gotta love the Superdome here tonight. We thought that might affect scoring a little bit there, Adam Trigger and the other two. Nope, didn't affect it at all. Kansas should actually rent the Superdome out and play there instead of in Lawrence all these years. What do you think, though, here, Trig? Are you ready for tonight? I know you got KBO coming up a little bit later, but what else you got for us at WagerTalk.com?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to give out my opinion on this game on the show. If I do sort of upgrade it to a client play, I'll make sure it goes out for free. So we'll talk about that on the show, and I'll have KBO up in a bit for Tuesday morning. But the lines kind of just came out, so check back on my page in a couple hours for that. That'll be part of $9 Money.
Yeah, gotta love a 2-0 start to the year there, Trig. Way to go, and Mahia. What is going on, man? I know you've been itching for this game, this national championship game. It is almost upon us. No NBA tonight, which is actually not bad. It should be a lot of fun. A lot of NBA last night, though. But what do you got for us over at WagerTalk.com?
Yeah, me and the NBA need a break from each other anyway. Yesterday, my 5-0, 5% streak ended in the league. On the last game of the night, Pelicans and Clippers, LA shot 21 three-pointers. So they did their part. The Pelicans barely showed up. They fell a few points short. So we're reeling over that one, but time to start a new streak. And then obviously we've got a busy final week in the NBA, week plus, until we get to the postseason and get some of these seedings fixed. And then for $9 Monday, in addition to a package that I'll give out one of the plays in the package for free, one of my player props. I've got a side total and an additional player prop, and we'll throw out the MLB futures for $9 Monday and leave them up all week for the start of the baseball season later on this week. So busy week, looking forward to everything, and especially this national championship game.
It should be a good one here, and boy, oh boy, the odds makers, I know a lot of people were waiting and going, all right, what's this line going to be? What's it going to be? Is it going to be 6? Is it going to be 8? Is it going to be 2? What's it going to be? Well, they landed somewhere in the middle, guys, as we take a look at KU and North Carolina. 4 was the number. It did push to 4.5, came back down to 4. It's teetering back and forth. That total 151.5. I saw it as high as 153. Then it looked to come back a little there. 152.5. 9:20. Right, you figure around 9:30 tonight Eastern time, guys, for the tip in New Orleans. So Tony Finn, I'll come to you here. I'll just say it. If Kansas shoots 13 of 24 from deep again, they're going to be your national champion. But 53%, wow. Not sure they're going to get there with North Carolina, or are they, in your opinion?
Well, that would be something, wouldn't it? I couldn't agree more with you. I think you're spot on. To expect Kansas to shoot that kind of percentage that well, and to be completely transparent, all those shots, there wasn't a bunch of them contested, but some of those were contested shots where the player, whoever it may be for KU, sometimes was falling back to shoot those 3-pointers. Good shooting performance. This is more about, I think that was more about self. And we talked about it all week, Joe, not just on this show, but on other shows that you take part in too, on the grid. And that is that Wright may be the more experienced coach in this situation. He might be one of the most successful coaches ever in that situation. But I thought Self and his staff did a pretty darn good job taking advantage of a 5-man rotation. Essentially what they were was a 5-man rotation. And I thought Villanova got a break because they weren't calling anything. And they've been calling fouls. That's the one thing I liked the over in the Kansas game, was because I didn't think Villanova was going to man pressure them tightly. That said, to your question, over that kind of percentage shooting from 3, KU won't get beat, and it probably would go over too. Wouldn't you agree?
I think it would have to at that point. At that point, I mean, Agbaji was his first 6 shots he made. They all happened to be 3, Trig. So again, a great performance. Don't want to take anything away, but listen, Villanova is not North Carolina. And North Carolina, they've been shooting just as good as anybody. I'm still laughing that they're an 8 seed here, Trig. It just cracks me up. Shows you how piss poor the whole seeding was there. But talk to me. North Carolina, I see a lot of Kansas love in the marketplace. Are you on board with them?
Well, I'll just start by saying it'll be Kansas or nothing for me. I've laid the points with Kansas the last 2 rounds. Both were easy winners. But the one thing I started texting to some of my friends after that Kansas-Villanova game was, man, Kansas might have just played their best game of the season. And I went back in my text conversations with Chris and Kelly, and we were just talking about the game. And I said, you know what? I don't know if Kansas can replicate that shooting performance from Saturday on Monday. Now, that was before North Carolina played out of their minds against Duke. So I think you could kind of say, that it goes a little bit both ways, that both teams, just sort of played as good as they could play coming into this game. Baycott's injury, I think, is going to be a big deal. If you've ever hurt something while playing a sport in a big game, the adrenaline is going and you can kind of get through it. He had to get through. He even said, I don't know if, I thought I would have been out for the game. He came back and toughed out the last 5 minutes. But 2 days later, after that, the adrenaline's gone, it's a lot harder to sort of just come back. Now, is he going to play? 100%. He's not missing this game. But if he's not 100%, David McCormick probably wins that matchup. So, and that I think is a big deal. Abaji's probably the best player on the floor, in my opinion. I think North Carolina will have a hard time stopping him. So for me, like I have reason to believe Kansas is the right side. I actually think the number is a little bit low. I probably would have had this up like 5 or 6, but North Carolina has warranted it. They've played incredible basketball. We're probably going on about little bit over a month now that they've just been, playing outstanding. So I'm looking toward Kansas -4. I don't know if I'll make it like a 4% play. It's definitely the way I would play it. Like I said, I'm going to tweet it out. It's going to be my best bet for this show. So Kansas -4 is the way I'm looking. But, in the end, it's just another game. We don't have, you don't have to bet this just because it's the final. So Kansas -4, maybe you do something in play with Kansas. That's certainly the way I'm looking. And I just haven't decided if I'll get to the window with like a bigger bet or not at this point.
So let me ask you here, Tony Mejia, from a pace perspective, neither of these teams are going to try to grind anything out. I don't see it. It's going to be balls to the wall and may the best team win here. Whoever shoots best from the perimeter is probably winning this championship. But the question, are we not even remotely close to looking at an under here? Is there any value on the under, in your opinion, or is it just simply an over or not spot for you as well in this game?
Yeah, I see 151s and 151.5, and I think that the number opened at 154, so that was where your value on the under went, and now it's down in the 151 range. And look, I was huge on the under in both games, and had the first half under in North Carolina. Duke caught in too early, because the number ended up being 71.5, 72, and there were 71 points scored. I had 71, so I pushed that. The full game under, it went down the drain with everybody hitting shot after shot in the final, few minutes. And then the Villanova Kansas total was just obliterated by Agbaji starting off 6 for 6 from 3. And really, none of these guys had issues with what I anticipated they would have. A change of going from exclusively basketball venues for everybody involved in this tournament to a football stadium with 70,000 plus people in it. And everybody shot the ball better than their in-season percentages. So there went that theory. Both of these teams have gotten through this. They should be confident going in. 10 for 26 from three-point range for Carolina, 13 for 24 for KU. And it's a situation for Kansas where they're facing a shorthanded squad as well, because Villanova went 5 deep. North Carolina essentially is going to go 5 deep. Their sixth man is Puff Johnson, Cameron Johnson's younger brother. He barely plays. He had 9 minutes and scored the only 2 points for the Heels against Duke. They caught an unfortunate break when Dawson Garcia, the Marquette transfer and former McDonald's All-American, he stepped away from the program to tend to a family matter, something medical that happened. They could really have used him today as insurance for Armando Bacot, and essentially it's Bacot or bust tonight, regardless of how that ankle feels. And everybody saw the injury. He's not 100%. We'll see how he fares, because they're going to need him under the boards, battling with McCormick and Lightfoot, who comes in off the bench and supplies quality size. So yeah, certainly Kansas, the rightful favorite totals wise. Number is where it should be. And to answer your question, I do think it probably is over or nothing.
All right, guys. I mean, Bacot's got a couple of things he's got to deal with tonight. Number one, the ankle, but number two, he's got to not foul out, because we know how many fouls McCormick can generate there. And if it's only going to be him against the big man, he got to worry about fouling out here. And then what does North Carolina do? That's going to be a big worry here. But the reality is, two of the best and two of the hottest teams in this tournament right now going to do battle for a national championship. A lot of different ways to approach this. You got some prop market bets out there right now, sides, total, first half. So when you put it all together, I'll come to you, Tony. Finn, what's your best bet tonight here in this game?
I'm going to go to the over, 151, as the best bet in the game. And for a couple of reasons, real quickly. And I think you addressed the Armando Bacot situation pretty well. But I talked to some people, and I don't know if you guys watched any clips or anything of the media sessions, but the world according to Bacot was that he's been treated almost consistently or constantly since the game ended. X-rays were negative. He spent 2 hours treating the ankle. After the game, woke up got into the pool to rehab on Sunday morning. Then, of course, it was time for media session. Said he was doing homework during the media session and had compression sleeves on the ankle. And then he said he made a quick little break to get a stimulation treatment during the media session. And here's the quotes. And if you put any value in quotes, guys, here it is. We don't have another big man. Bacot said, I don't have a choice but to play. That's pretty big. And he's right. There isn't behind him. There's not somebody that's capable of standing or going toe to toe with McCormick. And long story short, Davis in the media session said he's ready to play tomorrow night. He'll be ready to play tomorrow. So do you believe the players? Do you believe the coach speak? I think Trigg addressed it. He's not going to be 100%. He's not going to be 100%. So how good is this team without him 100%, guys? And quickly before we move on, is that if you look at his numbers, what people don't know, if you haven't watched him or they don't follow the ACC, this guy is an animal. I mean, he's number 3 overall, depending on your metrics, number 3 overall rebounder in the country overall. He's the top rebounder for North Carolina, the top point scorer for North Carolina. And in many cases, guys, I know you guys could do this. You can make a case where the top scorer, top rebounder for a team isn't irreplaceable. This guy cannot be replaced. So what I'm saying is I think the KU can score inside. We know they can score outside. And if it gets to a point where North Carolina's chasing, they can play at tempo and they can still score over the 151 would be the way I'd go.
Yeah, and we should probably dispel this myth of this game against Duke for North Carolina, Trigg, and it maybe a letdown spot. And listen, you got all the time in the world to get let down on Tuesday and you can rest. I don't want to hear how a bunch of 19-year-olds aren't going to be up for a national championship game. But, that continues to be one of these things that people keep saying, Drew probably might, the legs, they're 19 years old. They're not tired here, Trigg. I wouldn't look at that at all. But how are you approaching this game? What's your best bet?
Yeah, I thought about that, Joe. And then I said, you know what? I don't think there can be a letdown in a national championship game. So I'm not going with that angle. But to go off what Tony said, I mean, if Puff Johnson ends up in there against McCormick, I mean, he's going to get eaten alive. So that's it. It really, to me, like it comes down to Bacot, his availability, and how effective he is. And if I'm going to bet this game, I'm gonna bet under the sort of the assumption that he's not going to be his usual self. If he is and he goes out and has a monster game, UNC's probably in this game. But I just don't think that he can have a top performance after doing that to his ankle, 2-day turnaround. And if Kansas can win that battle, then in my opinion, they're stronger at the other positions. Abaji has a good matchup here. I think he has another good game. We finally sort of started, he was awful in this tournament up until that Miami game, and then he played incredible on Saturday. So maybe this is just, a little bit of a market correction with Abaji because he is one of the best players in college basketball. So the way I'm looking at this, Kansas -4 would be my best bet, without a doubt. And if I add it for my clients, I'm going to tweet it out anyway. So just, check back on my Twitter before the game. I'll make sure it goes out, and I'll make sure you guys know. I'll put it in my free play section as well. If it's going to be a best bet for me, something that I give my clients for a rated play, everyone will know about it. But Kansas -4.
Kansas -4. Mahia, how about you? Did you dive into any props in this game? You leaning one way or the other with one?
We will. A reminder, it's $9 Monday, so any plays on this game, package-wise, are just $9. I've got my top side, top total, and 2 player props. One of which is the following. It's R.J. Davis. I'm going back to the well. It was only 12.5 for the game against Duke. Now it's up to 14.5 at DraftKings. His scoring prop, I think he tops it. He scored 18 against the Blue Devils. Really, one of the main reasons that Carolina was able to survive Baylor was R.J. going for 30 in a game where he hit 5 3-pointers. He's done that a couple of times over his last 9 games. And he's streaky. Both Carolina guards are streaky. Caleb Love, same thing. But R.J. Davis has been able to wrestle away the reins at the point from Love. They trust him more with the ball in his hands. That's why his assist totals have been solid throughout this tournament. You might want to look at assists as well. He had 4 against Duke, 12 against Marquette to open the big dance. So certainly he's going to be a catalyst. He's hit a three-pointer in all but one game in this tournament, gets to the free throw line well. So give me the over on RJ Davis, 14.5 points. Whether they win, they lose, he's going to be a leading man on this team, especially if Baycott's not 100%. So RJ Davis is the call, over 14.5 points. And you can shop around and see if FanDuel opens up any other lines. But the DraftKings has them at 14.5, laying just $1.05.
So listen, hobbled or not, if Duke does not keep Baycott off the boards for those second chance opportunities, Kansas is going to have some problems. 21, guys, the ridiculous amount of second chance points that they had in that game against Duke. His presence, it almost feels like, and let me ask you, Mejia, it almost feels like if you're not comfortable one way or the other here, maybe wait to see what you see from him early in the game and maybe look to get a better number in-game. It feels like this is a pretty good in-game betting opportunity as well, because if he doesn't look good, I think it's going to be pretty evident rather quickly here, would you say?
No question. I mean, you're looking at a guy that has been their driving force for weeks on end, and sometimes teams have no answers for him. In the ACC tournament, he went 9 of 10 in the loss to Virginia Tech, and they lost that game. He went 10 of 11 against Duke in Coach K's final game at Cameron. So, I mean, this is a guy that has not only been extremely productive, but he's been dominant, and he's the reason they've won. And his ability to get offensive boards and keep guys in a rhythm, get Brady Manick, in a comfort zone to where he's not solely a defensive liability. Manick's confidence has been, a real key factor in North Carolina turning things around this season. The fact that he can let it fly and be a defensive liability because everybody seeks him out on that end of the floor, but continue to keep his head up on the offensive end and be a factor. I think that's related to Baycott too. So certainly your point is a great one. If Armando Baycott does not look good, clearly looks limited, then you want to load up on Kansas in game.
Yeah, no, I think there's going to be some opportunities. It's a game of runs, guys. There's going to be plenty of opportunities to score some points here tonight in transition with these two teams, which is why I did it in the North Carolina Duke game. And it works pretty well. I'm going to look at that under in the first half for this North Carolina and Kansas game. Maybe this game starts a little bit slow like that one did, and eventually it will pick up in the second half. And a lot of it's going to depend on Baycott's health. If he gets worse as the game progresses, there could be an awful lot of points in that second half line as well. So keep an eye on that. But I'm going to tend to the under here in the first half. And to recap it one more time, guys, one final game here on the college basketball season. Tony Finn lagging the over in the full game, 151. Trig, he going Kansas or not for him. He going to lay to 4. Tony Mejia, he likes RJ Davis. What a combo that has become here. RJ Davis over 14.5 points as him and Caleb Love in it together. And I'm going to go with the first half under 71. I do see a lot of similarities with these two teams here that we just saw against Duke. Should be a great one. And you heard Tony Mejia mention it is $9 Monday, guys, which means best bets over at WagerTalk.com. Just $9. You want to see what these guys are playing on their card here tonight? Head over there. Visit Adam Trigger. Visit Tony Mejia and visit Tony Finn, guys. They are locked and loaded, ready to go tonight. So it should be an awful lot of fun. Crowning a national champion here, guys. It's been a great season. It's been a fun season. Shout out to Dave Koken, Ralph Michaels, Brian Leonard, all the guys that have shown up and showed out all season long here on the College Basketball Tip-Off Show. Shout out to Robert and Will behind the scenes, making all of this come together. And, of course, Tony, Adam, and Tony Mejia. You guys, it's been a very, very fun college basketball season. Almost feels like, before we know it, We'll be back again here, guys, in a couple of months. Baseball this week. Look for first pitch. Also, don't forget the KBO show. Trig is killing it. Him and Tokyo Brandon on Mondays and Thursdays, guys. Check that out. Get your fix of KBO here coming up. The Korean Baseball League is underway. And on behalf of all three of these gentlemen, guys, we appreciate you hanging with us all season long. It's been a profitable season. Hopefully you guys were able to make a few bucks as well. And until next time, guys, best of luck with your plays tonight. We'll talk to you again soon. Good luck.
Each and every Monday is $9 Monday at both WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, when all daily picks packages are priced at only $9, including 5% best bets, normally priced at $35. As an added bonus, any picks packages loaded early for Overnight Tuesday or action during the week will also be priced at $9 until midnight on Monday. So make sure to take advantage of getting these $25 and $35 picks for only $9 before the clock strikes 12 and they return to regular price.